Oh, wow. That's so funny.
So true.
Yes.
So true. Anyway. Chandler, do you have any aspirations?
It's funny you ask. I actually do.
Well, what's one of them?
I don't know if you know, but I have an alias.
Uh-huh.
His name is Young Skidmark.
Wow, that's questionable.
Yeah.
I was thinking about possibly shooting a rap video one day.
A rap video. Yeah, Chandler, that's a pretty good
That's
idea.
a horrible idea.
I feel like we should do it.
Oh, thanks.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
About to drop this super hot fire. Just wait for it. Drippity, flippity, hippity, hop. I'm about to hit the spot like that. I don't even know what I'm saying, but just yet, I'm on the scene playing. Watch me drop in this whip. On my way to watch that flick. I watched 1917. It was pretty good. I'm the hip hop. I'm the hottest in the crew. You already know my name is Skidmark.
You know, Greta, you're right. This is a bad idea.
Drippity, flippity, hippity, hop.
You're right,
right.
Greta. This was straight rubbish.
Hey guys, that was fun.
Yes, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick tip. So, if you ever meet someone and you're like, I forgot their name, but I'm like 90% sure what their name is, all you gotta do is like, hey, Ryan. Right? You like kind of mumble it.
Hey, there's
Exactly! See, just wanted to give you that social tip. So anyways, we're gonna go into worship right now. Let's do it.
What's up, Elevate? Let's worship together. This is no performance. Lord, I praise, worship, empty words I can't afford. I'm not chasing feeling. That's not why I'm singing. You're the reason for my song. And I only wanna say, if I see with everything, if I sing for you, my King. Oh, I can't imagine why I would do this all for high, 'cause it's all to lift you high. You don't want perfection, just my soul's attention. All I have is what I'll give. More than a song that lasts a moment, I live a life of honest worship. If I'm in the scene, then I'll sing with purpose. All the praise, Lord, you deserve it now. I only wanna sing if I sing with everything. If I sing for you, my King. Oh, I can't imagine why I would do this all for high, 'cause it's all to lift you high. Oh, rides on this one truth. God is madly in love with you. So take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where I am, comes through. On this one truth, God is madly in love with you. Then take courage, hold on, be strong. Remember where I am, comes through. The praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything would rather repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Sing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything would rather repeat the sound. All his children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. Swing wide, all you heavens, let the praise go up as the walls come down. All creation, everything would rather repeat the sound. All the children, clean hands, pure hearts, good grace, good God. His name is Jesus. God, we thank you for who you are and what you've done, God. That you continue to love us and pursue us despite our faults, despite our flaws. So God, in response to that great love that you have for us, we listen. We're open to what you have for us today. Would you speak to our hearts? We love you in your name. Amen.
What's up, gang? Welcome to week 2 of If Then, where we're diving into if Jesus and the story of Jesus and the life of Jesus and all that is true, then what does it mean for us? And we're diving in some cool ways. And so last week we decided to look at what did Jesus say about himself? How did he talk about himself? And kind of look at it that way. But this week, I want to continue to what Jesus has said about himself and how he describes himself, but in a kind of a different way. But let me start here with something that kind of came to mind. Have you ever been embarrassed? Have you ever felt like I'm just lost, like I don't know what to do, like, I'm just on my own? Well, okay, this came from me, many times in my life, but one of them was when I was probably, I don't know, I think a sophomore or junior in high school. I was working at a community center. I had just gotten promoted to assistant manager of the sports department. And so me and a couple of my buddies are coaching water polo, which I know in California that's a big deal. In Arizona it's really not, like nobody does that. But we were coaching water polo, so I had to kind of learn it, figure it out. And then we're out by the pool, and I'm teaching younger elementary. So I'm teaching kindergarten through like 5th grade, something like that. And so we're teaching them, and it's so much fun. Then we realized that we could take the ball and throw it as hard as we could and like skip it across the water and it'd, like, skip like a rock and it'd go into the goal. And then it was just fun. So we started doing that, goofing around, having fun. The kids, they're all swimming around trying to play, but we're just throwing the ball back and forth. And so then one of the times we have all the parents out watching, and they're coming to see their kids, what we've taught them. And me and my friends are just being knuckleheads, and so we keep throwing the ball. And so one of the times that I go to throw it, I bring the ball back as hard as I can, and I go to just unload like as much power and force as I could. And all of a sudden, as I'm about to let go, what do I see? I see this tiny, like, 2nd grader pop out like a dolphin from the water, just emerges, and it's too late for me to stop. And in slow motion, I let go of this ball, and it crushed her in the face. Like, it obliterated her. I mean, bloody nose, face just goes boom, like whiplash, all of it, right? And I look around, and every single parent, every person I worked with, my boss, all are staring at me as this sophomore or junior in high school who just crushed this little girl in the face. Like, crushed her. And let me tell you, I relive this moment and go, because of the embarrassment and the what did I just do, and the I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hands, like all of these feelings. I didn't know what to do. I felt exposed. All I wanted to do was run and hide. Like, I know that's not cool to say as, a young guy, you don't hide, you face your fear. No. I was terrified of what was about to happen. Every parent saw it was bad. But all I wanted to do was run and hide. Now, have you ever gotten that feeling? Have you ever felt so embarrassed that all you wanted to do was go into hiding? Maybe it wasn't necessarily what I did, where I chucked a water polo ball at a little girl's face and maybe broke her face forever. Maybe it wasn't that, but maybe it's something like on social media, where you're gonna post something and you realize you shouldn't have done it, but it's too late and you can't hide from it. Maybe at school, there's a group of people that all they do is pick on you and bully you, and you don't really know what to do. You can't necessarily run and hide, but that's all you want to do is run to the bathroom and hide. Maybe in sports, you've done everything you could, but yet in the biggest moment of your sports career so far, you messed up the big play, right? You just totally botched it and ruined it. Maybe for some of you, it's, in dating. Maybe it's not the best choice for you, but you're stuck and you don't know what to do. Maybe for some of you, it's at home. You have an older brother or sister or even younger or family members where you just feel lost. you feel disconnected. You feel like you've messed up so much that there's no way that they could care for you, and they know who you really are because they live with you or they see who you actually are. But what's so interesting about all of this is that no matter what you feel like, you're not alone. You're not the only person who goes through that. It's not just you. And I know that we say that all the time, and it's easy for us to go, yeah, I get it. But it's why a lot of us even don't pray. Now, I know that sounds funny how you go from sports and dating and social media to praying, but think about it. Some of us feel awkward praying and we don't want to do it, or when we are doing it, we feel awkward and embarrassed because we feel like God knows who we really are. And when we're praying to God and trying to talk to Him and ask for things or ask for guidance or whatever that is, you feel like God knows who you are and God's not going to listen, or God's going to see right through who you are and maybe get a little harsh with you. That's what we feel like. Maybe we feel a little hesitant to come to church for the same reason, that if we showed up at church after we lived the lives that we do during the week, or people saw what we posted on social media, or people just knew who we were, that people would judge us. Or by showing up at church, as we hear about God, maybe we would feel bad about what we've done. Maybe we'd feel awful. Maybe as me or somebody in your life would speak into you, they would go, well, this is the way we're supposed to live. And inside you would go, man, that's not how I'm living. And maybe there's a little bit of regret, maybe a little bit of hesitation, maybe a little bit of embarrassment, all those things. Maybe that's you. So maybe praying in church is even difficult because you feel like people know who you are. And maybe for some of you, you're wondering, is that what church and a relationship with God is supposed to be like? It's one thing to think that way about classmates, but is that what it's supposed to be like with God, where we just feel like God's just looking down on us and judging us and all that? Well, last week, like I said, we talked about how do we know who Jesus is, and we're going to look at the way that He talked about Himself. But let's go back to that a moment where Jesus is talking to the Pharisees again, and let's dive into what Jesus says. Again, let's talk about Pharisees. Pharisees are the religious leaders who said, these are the rules, these are the laws, you got to hang out with the right people, all this stuff. But at some point, which all those things are good, they started to kind of drift away, and they didn't believe that Jesus was who Jesus was. And again, last week, Jesus described Himself as one with God. He said, I was before Abraham and I am after. He was telling them that I am the Father, I am God. And the Pharisees were like, whoa, do you know what you're saying? But Jesus then, I said this last week, Jesus always talks in such a cool way where He tries to make it as easy for us to understand with illustration. It's pretty cool because for me, sometimes when I read things, like the newspaper, sometimes it's hard to really grasp, okay, what the heck's going on? But Jesus tried to make it as simple as possible. And sometimes what we do is we look at it and we go, well, that situation doesn't pertain to us. But remember, Jesus was talking in a different time, but it still pertains to us. So we're going to jump into John chapter 10, verse 11 is where we're going to start. This is where Jesus references Himself as our shepherd. And here's what it says. It says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. The hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. Okay, so really quick. So he's breaking it down. He's saying, hey, there's two types of people, okay? When you have a farm, when you have sheep, which maybe some of you do. I know our friends over in Ramona probably do, but maybe you guys don't. But with sheep, there's a shepherd who owns the sheep, who loves the sheep, who takes care of them. That's his livelihood. That's his thing, right? Then there's the hired hand, which is somebody who just gets hired to just help work things, right? But there is a difference, right? There's a difference in connection and in relationship. Okay, so Jesus is describing that, okay? So the hired hand is not the shepherd and does not own the sheep. So when he sees the wolf coming, he abandons his sheep and runs away. Then the wolf attacks the flock and scatters it. The man runs away because he is a hired hand and cares nothing for the sheep, okay? So think about this. When your parents give you ownership of something and say, hey, this is yours, right? Don't you feel like it's something more important, right? When it's something that or maybe you've earned it, you've worked for the money to buy it. I remember when I bought, I know this is a long time ago, and some of you maybe don't remember this. I remember when I bought my first Xbox, not the Xbox 360. I'm talking Xbox with original Halo, all that. Okay, my mom was like, I'm not gonna buy it for you. So I had to work really, really, really hard to be able to get it. So I cherished that thing. I would clean it all the time. I made sure my discs were perfectly placed. I even took, like on the side of the game, I know now we buy digital, but on the side of the packaging, there's a label, right?
that if you took it off, you couldn't return it. I would take that label off and put it inside for authenticity, right? I just took care of it so much more. Now, I had friends where I would go to their house to play Xbox, and I'd kind of throw the discs in the cases. Sometimes I'd leave them on top of the Xbox because it wasn't mine. There's a difference. So Jesus is saying, hey, the hired hand doesn't have the same connection, doesn't have the same care and love for the sheep as the shepherd does. But he goes on to say this, I am the good shepherd. I know my sheep and my sheep know me, just as the Father knows me and I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. Right? Did you hear that and think, what? Like, again, I don't have sheep. I don't understand, like, why is this important? Here's why it's important. When we look at our lives, when we look at the way that we live in our relationship with Jesus, Jesus is our shepherd. God is looking out for us. You see, when something bad comes to us, the shepherd doesn't run away. The hired hand does. Maybe that's our friends. Maybe that's sports teams. Maybe that's the different social media status, whatever. The good shepherd, though, doesn't run because he has emotional investment, because he has love and care for the sheep, which is us. Now, here's the other thing I want you guys to know. Sheep are kind of dumb, and I'm going to say this. We're kind of dumb, too. Do you ever fall into the same trap over and over and over? Do you ever do the same dumb thing over and over? You hang out with the same people over and over and over, and you know this isn't good. Guess what? That's because we are like sheep. We're not that smart. We fall into the same things over and over and over. But Jesus is the good shepherd. God is looking out for us. And there's a difference because God doesn't stop, right? We've heard the parable of the lost sheep. And if you haven't, it's like this. When there's 100 sheep and one goes missing, God doesn't just say, hey, I got 99 and one ran away. No. God goes after that one. God says that one is important because that one is in need. And God looks out for us. So in the end, what is Jesus saying here? It's basically this. He's saying that I am there for you. I am what a shepherd is to sheep. I love you. I care for you. I'll go after you. I will make sure that when the wolf comes to eat you, that I'm there alongside you. When you're lost, when you're stuck, when you're a dumb sheep who walks away, guess what? I'm going after you. And Jesus continues to even say this. In John chapter 10, verse 29, he says this, my Father who has given them, the sheep, to me is greater than all. No one can snatch them out of my Father's hand. Again, what he wants us to know is this. If Jesus is the good shepherd, then you are in good hands. If Jesus is the good shepherd, if he is the one who cares for us and loves us and is seeking us out and is making sure that we are protected and safe and doesn't run when the wolf comes, doesn't run when we walk away, he's there for us. If he is that good shepherd, then you are in good hands. Then I am in good hands. Then as we develop our relationship with Jesus, we can know that he is not going to just walk away because he's just a hired hand. He's not just there for a season. He's not just there for a moment. He is a shepherd who is there invested in our well-being, invested in our life, invested in good, and invested when we do bad. God is there for us. And if Jesus is the good shepherd, then you are in good hands. So what exactly does this mean for us? Again, as sheep, as dumb sheep, and I'm going to keep saying that, and I don't just mean you guys. Trust me, ask anybody that I work with. I'm a dumb sheep, okay? But as sheep, we must learn to stay close to the shepherd. Now, some of you are like, I don't know what that means. How do we stay close to a shepherd when we're not actually sheep? Like, tell me what it means. And here's what it simply means. When we feel unknown, take it to the shepherd. When we feel afraid, walk a little closer to the shepherd. When we feel lost, call out to the shepherd. When we feel stuck, get help from the shepherd. And again, what does that mean? It means this. When you feel like you've messed up too much and you can't go to anyone, God's there. When you feel like you've wandered too far away and there's no turning back, turn around because God's there. When you feel like everything is crashing down and you don't know what's happening, call out to God. Pray to him. Let's keep developing that relationship with God. Lean into God, and you'll be surprised that God is always with you. Guys, we love you. We can't wait to be together. House groups are happening soon. We got more details for you. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.
We hope that was encouraging for you guys. We're gonna go into small groups. So here's the guy Zoom number, and here's the girl Zoom number.
Yes, we're so excited. And also, we're going to see you guys on Thursday for Beach Day. We're going to start this Thursday, and then we're going to continue every other week throughout the summer. We're super excited about it. Make sure you go to our Instagram and our website for more details. With that said, we'll see you guys in Zoom. Bye.